grab the video of Brittney Griner during getting interviewed by a sideline reporter and walking away to yell at a referee and I mean, is acting like a mix between Karl Malone and Greg
Rasheed
Popovich. Rasheed Wallace and Greg Popovich. Have you seen this video?
Yeah, well, in defense of Miss Griner, I thought that was far more entertaining than any in-game interview Pop has ever given. So I'm not going to be that hard on her. I thought it was actually pretty authentic, and she was being unapologetically her, okay? But the issue that I have with the WNBA is this. We are allowed not to like you. In fact, as the American public, we're allowed to not like you for any reason. In fact, we're allowed to not support you for any reason or to support if we choose. This is a guilt trip, and I would hope that people have enough guts to actually act upon their own feelings. Jason, if they're like you and they want to watch the rest of the games, or at least of one team, that is certainly your prerogative. However, I would say for the small majority of 99.8% of the rest of America, I think they're going to pass.
I do think they're going to, well, this
they're going to pass.
This will be interesting. I can't wait to see what the ratings are for the Fever, because I'm going to continue to watch the Fever just in hopes that they, don't lose too many games and hurt their playoff seeding, because they're already off to a rough start. Steve, I know you don't watch it as intently as I do, but I think over the summer or whatever, over the winter, during the offseason, there's been an alliance among WNBA players that they thought they were hard on Caitlin Clark last year. There's not going to be cheap shots this year, but there's going to be a physicality to the way that they defend her. Not in a cheap way, but just a physical. I haven't seen it. Maybe Michael Jordan, when he played the Detroit Pistons, maybe at the prime of Michael Jordan, was he roughed up in the way that Caitlin Clark is being roughed up. But the physical wear and tear on Caitlin Clark, I'm not surprised that 2 weeks into the season, she's already got an injury.
Well, Jason, you talk about the relative slow start of that team. They added a lot of parts. And what are we, 3, 4, 5 games in? It's still very early in the process. But I'll take the flip side of that statement, Jason. That's the highest compliment you can give Caitlin Clark. And if the players are going to play within the rules, I think that's fair game. And Confucius says all the time, the standards you set for somebody is what you really think. So by that standard, this league and its players know how good Caitlin Clark is. And the true test of greatness for her is, can she find a way to adapt? That's probably going to be the most interesting part of this journey here in season number 2.
Steve, here's the Brittney Griner clip, I believe, with the sideline interview. Let's play it. I think it's shot number 6.
By Autumn Johnson.
BG, right now you have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Very important question.
Steve, I'm just, no one wants to see that. And look, no one wants to see that. And I'm gonna be hypocritical or double standard. If that were a man in a men's league, I think people would be more tolerant of it. But to see women behaving that way, behaving as men, being as profane, being trying to be as intimidating, and again, this is why they don't want fans like me paying attention. That kind of stuff could go on in the old days, and it would be a tree falling in the woods. No one would complain because no one saw it.
So you're not a fan of her being authentically Brittney? Okay, I get it. I look, at least I will say this as someone who's not an avid fan, to say the least, of the W. At least they give a damn. Honestly, I will admit this. There's a certain passion and emotion that exists. And what are we, 3 games in? Do you think any NBA player does even cares about any of these games before, let's say, March? Be honest, Jason. Do any of these NBA players currently have any type of anger or emotion towards anything related to the games in this current culture and landscape of the NBA?
You're accurate. You're accurate. I'm going to give the men a defense. They play 82 games. The women play, I think, 44 now. And so each game has more value. If they shrunk the NBA season, you'd have more people caring. Steve, I'm going to play you one more Brittney Griner clip. This is her from the game against the Indiana Fever. The Atlanta Dream played the Fever back-to-back. And then there was this controversy about a foul that was called on Brittney Griner and whether or not she said, white girl trash or, effing white girls. The call was effing trash. Did you catch any of this? And
yeah.
I've seen people say, look, she's saying whack call, not white girls. Anyway, your thoughts.
I can't believe this. I'm going to be like Johnny Kimkren. I'm almost acting as the defense attorney for Miss Griner. Regardless of what she said, Jason, don't athletes in the heat of battle say a lot of things? A lot of things they may not mean, a lot of things that may be out of bounds, many things that aren't politically correct. I would say, look, she got heated. She has to understand the cameras are on her. I think a little bit too much is being made of this, but with the admittance, if that was a white player who said the opposite things about a black player, the usual suspects would have their 10,000-word think pieces and smear campaigns ready to go. That I will admit.
Steve, I'm right there with you. It doesn't matter to me what Brittney Griner said there in the heat of the moment. You're absolutely right. If Caitlin Clark's on camera mouthing the words black girl, it doesn't matter in what context she'd get strung up. I think as it goes either direction, this is a big nothing burger. It happens to everybody in the heat of competition. This is locker room talk. And so it's not, I would move away from this. Not a big deal, but I'll go back to my original point though. This is why they don't want Caitlin Clark fans paying attention, because we'll question things that previously would never be questioned. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.